Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, it's another viewer request. It is the PlayStation Spin Master JIN SAKAI. It's part of their Shapes collection, which is just the goofiest thing ever. The Shapes collection? What does that even mean? I mean, I know those are their buttons, but why? That's a strange thing. I must be an Xbox fanboy. Nope, don't play either. Okay, so this guy is from a game. And I haven't played it because I don't play PlayStation games. I haven't played PlayStation games since the PlayStation 2. But you guys requested it, and I do review action figures. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a decent package, I suppose. Standard PlayStation white and blue with some renders, which make the figure not look anywhere near as good as it does. I mean, it doesn't, but it looks way worse than the renders, so never a good idea, by the way. Anybody out there who's designing packaging, don't put things that make the product look worse on the package. Not a good idea. So, there's that. Okay, let's see if the figure itself is any good. I've had a lot of people tell me these figures are the best ever, all the Spin Master ones, and then other people tell me they are really garbagey figures. And when I reviewed Kratos, I said he was pretty good, and a lot of people said, no, he's really bad. And the thing is, they're not great figures, but they are pretty darn good for the price. They're only 25 bucks, and obviously they're all new sculpts, and they have a decent amount of paint, and they function well enough. And that's kind of the thing they're going for, I guess. But we're going to go through all of it. You can decide for yourself if it's the kind of thing you want to own. Alright? Okay. This guy stands just about 5 3/4, give or take. That's going to make him roughly 14.5 centimeters. It's probably fairly close to true 1/12 scale, so that's okay. He is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want one, I'll put a link in the description below, but we'll see. Maybe you won't. Maybe watch the review first. Alright, so aesthetically speaking, they look pretty good for being not good. I don't know if that's going to make any sense, but they have a lot of paint and a lot of sculpt, and it's just not quite enough, though. The problem I have with this line is it's like almost there, but because it's not quite there, they end up looking bad in some ways. Like, there is a lot of paint on here. Definitely lots of different pieces of plastic. And it mostly looks good, but then because they don't finish it, it looks cheap. So for instance, these panels on his sleeve should be painted, and they're not. So it looks really unfinished. Or like the rope around his chest. I assume that's rope anyway. It's not. Like, there's paint on it, but not enough, and it's glossy, so it ends up looking cheap and crappy. So despite there being lots of little details and things, because they didn't follow through on that, it doesn't look good overall. You end up with a thing that looks unfinished and juvenile, if you ask me. And having the glossy paints where you really shouldn't looks bad too. As for the face, I mean, it's surprisingly good, but I don't think it's good enough, and it's not super accurate, so it's like, from a distance it might be okay, but despite being really good for the price point, like, kind of, it's also bad. So I get what people were saying with the Kratos thing, but the thing is, like, yeah, everybody compared the Kratos to the NECA one. You shouldn't do that. That one costs way more, and it's NECA, so not even close. This doesn't really have a counterpart, I don't think. Is he an import figure yet? I'll have to check that out. But it's like, if you wanted this guy as a figure, you could do a lot worse. I mean, if there were other options. It's acceptable. But don't expect it to be like a high-end product. It's not. It's a Spin Master, relatively low-end product that's trying to punch above its weight class, and it just can't quite get there. So, yes, it looks good, but also bad. I'll just give it a 7 for the price point. It's weird because normally this much paint and sculpt and everything would get a higher score, but the way they've put it together, I just can't do it. I can't do it. Now, as far as accessories go, this is another problem. You get the main sword with the scabbard, and that can go on his belt. And that's fine, and the sword's pretty good. But you have these two other swords. You have what is probably, is it another katana, or is it like a wakizashi? Let's see. How's the length? That would be, yeah, like a wakizashi and a tanto. They're not removable. They stay there. They belong here and here. They don't remove the scabbard or the sword. They're permanently there. So that sucks. He doesn't have his bow and arrow, which is featured prominently, by the way. Right there. They cut it off here, which is smart, but he doesn't have that. He does come with the face mask, though, which I guess he can hold like in the photo, but it doesn't really fit on his face properly. but it doesn't really fit on his face properly. It does kind of, but not really. If you heat it and squish it and stuff, it'll kind of stay in place. And it's pretty well detailed, but that's it. That's it for accessories. And again, normally that would be okay for the price point given everything else, but since everything else was kind of disappointing, and he has 2 swords that you can't use, 3 total, I feel like it's unfinished. It feels like an unfinished product that will only be good enough for somebody who really wanted this guy on their shelf and didn't want to spend a lot of money and is just okay with whatever. And that's not meant to be derogatory, it's just what it is. So accessory wise, I don't know, 3 out of 10, there's something, so I guess that's good. Now, let's talk about the articulation. I think it says 32 POA on the box. I would like to know where those are. I don't see it, but let's go ahead and look. So the neck actually looks pretty well. You get a couple of ball pegs in there. I believe the neck moves and the head moves, so that's pretty good. Like, you're gonna pose his head pretty nicely. This is a floating piece, by the way, and the cape does come off, so I guess you could count those as accessories. I'm not gonna do that, but you could if you wanted to. Also, the neck doesn't match the head in terms of the skin tone. Alright, so yeah, I think he actually looks way better like that. I don't know how much the cape is on him in the game. Like I said, I never played the game, even though it looks really cool. But yeah, I would take that off. So anyway, you get the neck and head, which works really nicely. Love that. That's a good combo. For the shoulder, you get a butterfly joint, which is a little floppy, but it's there. Then you get the shoulder joint, which I can't raise it up. Maybe it's stuck, but I can't get it to go up. And I can't get it to go down any farther than that either. So he's stuck doing this kind of A pose, and that's not great. Alright, of course it does rotate around, but at that angle it's not very good. You get a bicep swivel, which doesn't look very good. A single jointed elbow, which is probably sufficient, honestly. It's decent enough. That's okay. You get rotation in the forearm if you need that for some reason. I don't know why you would. And then you get your wrist. What is the wrist? The wrist has a vertical hinge, so that's actually nice. You can hold his sword properly. Is it the same on this side? Yes, okay, so the wrists are okay. Arms are adequate. For the torso, like, you get a ball peg that works, technically. I mean, it works, but that's it. So that's pretty limited. This is semi-floating, so let's see about the hips. Okay, they can technically do that. I don't know if I would. They're just flat on the inside. That's a pretty goofy looking thing. And this is obviously going to be in the way, so you're going to be pretty limited in what you can do with his legs and make it look good. Going forward, let's see. Oh man. These figures do not feel like they've been cooked fully. Alright, let's just go this side to see if we can give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, pretty limited range going forward. It's just a ball peg in there, so all this armor is in the way. So pretty limited there. Thigh swivel is an actual cut, so it's a full swivel. And then the knees. It's a standard double jointed knee that is hidden inside the pants. So it's kind of weird. These black PVC figures are just so incredibly hard to film. Yeah, so pretty limited range there, and it doesn't look particularly good. 32 POA. I don't know about that. I didn't count it, but it sure doesn't feel like it. The ankles are pretty heavily ratcheted. I guess once you get them going, they're okay. So good range there. Ankle rocker is very steep, and that's it. So, I don't think so. I guess 6. I'll give it a 6 for the price point and everything. I'll give it a 6, but it's not working for me. I'll give you a final rating now. Yeah, you know, if you really wanted this guy and you're not too concerned about how good it actually is, just want the representation on your shelf, then yeah, it's fine. It's 25 bucks. Pick it up and enjoy it, and it's fine. But 25 bucks is not cheap, and technically it's a new sculpt and decent paint and stuff, so I get it. I think it's probably technically worth it, but practically speaking, I wouldn't want to own it. It's just not a fun figure. It doesn't look that good up close at all. It doesn't pose very well. The accessories aren't great. It's really only for somebody who really wants this guy without spending import prices, if there is one even, or if there will be one. I mean, like, it'll do. It's fine, and that's it. So yeah, I'll give it a 6. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.